It may now be a matter of weeks before the High Court rules on whether the Australian government can send asylum seekers to Malaysia. The Immigration Minister is defiant, claiming that the so-called Malaysia solution will still go ahead. But even if it does, there are serious questions about whether it will actually break the people smuggling trade. Tonight, Max Futcher is in Kuala Lumpur, where he's met the refugees who say this scheme only creates fresh incentives for them to attempt the journey to Christmas Island.
A narrow back alley in the sprawling outskirts of Kuala Lumpur is home to Abdul Rahman and his family.
Nice to meet you.
They are Rohingya refugees who fled persecution in Burma, and like 100,000 other refugees in Malaysia, they have no rights to work and earn money.
Life is very difficult because we cannot legally work in Malaysia, and my children's future is black.
Abdul has high hopes for his son Rashid. At just 8 years old, he already knows where the real opportunities are.
I want to study English, therefore I need to go Australia.
Like everyone, he clings to his UN registration, even though Malaysia isn't signed up to the UN's Refugee Convention. And this is what they fear most, a late-night raid by Malaysia's community militia called the Railer. The Railer look like the army or police, but are in fact a volunteer force patrolling for illegal immigrants. They have the power to arrest the refugees. These are the streets where 55 Afghan asylum seekers transferred from Christmas Island will live. But their situation will be different. Thanks to Australia's deal, they'll have special permits to get jobs, receive healthcare. They will be Malaysia's first legal refugees.
It is quite clear that now people will begin to find ways of how to achieve those rights, how to get those rights.
Irene Fernandez has been fighting for refugee rights for 30 years. Speaking out even got her jailed in 2003. She says the People Swap deal won't stop the boats. In fact, the better conditions for the Christmas Island refugees will create more demand.
Now, what human smugglers are going to tell them, you have two opportunities now, one in Australia and one in Malaysia. Make a headway to Australia, and at least when you come back towards Malaysia, you will get a better deal.
Local human rights lawyers agree.
It's a wishful thinking on the part of Australia if they think that this is what's going to happen. It's going to discourage people from actually taking the boat. We've actually asked our clients, is that going to stop you? They said if we have the money, we would still try it. We will make that attempt.
But support for the transfer deal in the governing party is strong.
Let's see how it goes. If it goes well, it fulfills the criteria, it resolves problems, then I'm sure they will look beyond.
But can you give assurances that these 800 people will be treated well here in Malaysia?
Yeah, I think generally we'll give them the basic human right needs. Okay, I think that will be handled. I don't think they would not be mistreated.
It won't be a better deal straight away. First they'll go into detention for a month while they're processed. Support agencies here believe the Australian deal effectively creates two tiers of refugees in Malaysia, the thousands with no rights at all, against those who've attempted to get to Australia and, in their view, end up with preferential treatment. We met Mohammed Rafiq, another Burmese refugee. He tried to board a boat to Australia last year but was caught by Malaysian police and imprisoned. When we told him about the People Swap deal, at first he didn't believe us, then quickly reaffirmed his intention to make the trip.
I am determined to go to Australia at all costs. Even if I'm arrested, at least I will be entitled to more rights than what I have currently here in Malaysia.
It will take money though, so he scavenges copper from electric wire at the dump. 1 kilo fetches $7, and that takes about a week. We also broke news of the transfer deal to others in the Rohingya community.
How many of you would like those rights? Just a show of hands.
So the people smugglers might have a new market. Not those who necessarily want to get to Australia, but those for whom it's now worth a try. Just make it to Christmas Island, and a better life awaits back in Malaysia, courtesy of Australia.
Max Futcher with that report from Malaysia.